Ready, attention position, and a good bow, show of respect to get started. Shake those arms out. Let's get the body warmed up properly first. Kind of swing those arms out. Make some circles. Get your arms going across your body. Stretch that neck out a little bit. So if you're watching this, most likely you are probably live, doing it live with us, or potentially you could be watching it on a rerun, right? For the live people, thanks for sticking in and watching it. For the people on a rerun, glad you found it. Okay, so let's have a leg stretch real quick. So we're just gonna hop a squat. We're gonna be trying to get through some information today, so we're gonna do a little bit less stretching. Nothing we're doing today requires too much stretching, and I'll stretch the parts we need for that. So we're trying to get our one leg out, 1 foot in. Oh man, changed it. And we're gonna be stretching down, getting the back side of that hip, back side of your leg stretching out. So in class today, we're gonna do this thing called double underguard pass or double stack pass. Essentially, we're going to be trying to work on passing someone's guard after we've already broken it. So we're not going to work a whole lot on the breaking aspect of it. We could spend time on that, but in sort of essentially to get through the class, I kind of want to focus more just on the passing. And then, provided we have time, I'd like to take a look at the other side. If you're getting someone stacking you and passing, kind of some options to maybe slow down their pass or even start to avoid their pass. And then obviously there's billions of options. We're only going to be able to cover a couple. All right, now set up position, toes up, legs straight. Chin up, walk your hands out. Remember, anytime you're practicing anything with someone jiu-jitsu related or physical in nature, make sure that the person obviously agrees to do it with you, but understands what's happening. So in jiu-jitsu, when we're doing something, remind your partners they should tap at any point if something becomes uncomfortable, they get claustrophobic, they feel any kind of choking or lightheadedness, right? Or any kind of joint manipulation pain. All right, start leaning into the side. So this is something you want to always know about your partner. Know they understand they're supposed to tap. Some people don't get it. They don't know they're supposed to tap. Or they're just, they're just the kind of person who doesn't like to. And that doesn't create a safe training atmosphere. So make sure that partners are aware that tapping is something we should do. We should do it very often. Figure you're probably going to tap about 10,000 times for your black belt. So let's get them out of the way now. Keep rotating left and right, getting those legs stretched out, get that belly down. Let's get the outside of the hip stretched out. That'll be one of the directions we're moving, so slide the foot up. Get that hip loose. We're trying to feel this stretch on the outside of our hip. Keeping that back arch, keeping that chin up. Trying to push that chest forward, causes more rotation in the hip, stretch the outside of it. And let's swap it to the other one. Sliding that foot up, keep it nice and tight, and stretching. Remember, work within your ability. If you're a little bit newer to classes, right, make sure you're thinking about trying to do some of these stretches, some of these activities within your own ability. Try not to do something outside of that. You don't want to endanger yourself or someone else. Pushing that chest forward, get into that stretch. You can get nice and deep. You can start to rotate your knee in and out a little bit to kind of change. Push your knee outside of your body, inside of your body will change the spot that's stretching. All right. Go on your back, pull your knee across your body. Stretch your lower back out a little bit. It'll be one of the areas that we're starting to squish today. So you're pulling your knee across your body. Reach your opposite hand out the other direction. Keep looking towards that hand. Breathe in through your nose, hold it for a second, and then try and go a little bit lower on the exhale out through your mouth. Same process in through your nose and lower on the exhale out your mouth. All right, switching. Other knee across your body. Pull it all the way down. Start to reach your arm out into your nose. Lower on the exhale. Into your nose. Lower on the exhale. One more time into your nose. Lower on the exhale. Okay, now this stretch is important. This one we got to start to figure out what our range of motion is. We're going to bring our toes over ahead because this is kind of what's going to happen to us. So I bring my toes up over my head and I try and pull them down to the floor. Now, you're either going to be comfortable in that position or you're not. If you're not comfortable, that tells you that you need to start to pay attention to when your partner's doing it. Otherwise, I want to pull my legs as far as I can. If I can touch the ground, touch the floor. Just stretch that neck out. All right, come on up. Let's stretch your back one more time. Roll onto your hands, upper body push up, look up at the ceiling, arch that back. So you want to start to listen to your body right now, find out how much range of motion it can do for bending either direction so that way you're ready to go. Push on back, let's get started. So like I said, got a big lesson plan, so we're going to skip a little bit of the stretching compared to normal. Normally try and get about 10 minutes, and we're going to cut it a little short. We have this thing called double understack pass, and what that is I'm going to be in an open guard situation where essentially the guard has been open, the feet are not locked. I'm going to be hugging the person's legs and pulling them to me, and then I'm going to be grabbing their shoulder, putting their knee into their own face, squishing them so that they want to let me pass and go around the corner. So I want to first, before we squish our partner pretty good, kind of work on a little bit less aggressive, right? And then we'll build up to the full thing. So Mr. Anderson puts me in his guard, right? And what's going to happen is instead of him closing his legs, he's going to keep his legs open. And what we're going to do is we're going to go underneath their knees and grab our hands together, okay? We're going to pull them up onto our legs, and then we're going to try and keep our arms real tight like this, and then let go and back up and do it again. So for the next minute, I want you to practice grabbing around their legs, hook your hands, and pull them up. Excuse me, sir, back up step. Pull them up so that they're sitting on top of your legs, okay? And then just scoot back and start over. So just simply a minute. You're reaching under, lock your hands, remember gable grip, pull them up on top of your legs, let them slide back off. 1 minute, let's go. Partner up. And get started. We'll go a minute with you, and then we'll switch. So I scoop, pull, let them get back. Little work for the down person. Oh man, yep. Scoop, pull up on your legs. Keep going. I got the clock. You're just reaching around those legs. Grab around those legs, pull the person up nice and tight. You want their seat off the floor, and you want to be able to be ready to stack the person. I'm trying to make sure that I get their legs pinned together. I don't want his feet separate down here on the side of me trying to stop my arm. So I also don't want to get leg triangled. You can see how you're going to start to lean your head over theirs. All right, one more time. Get it one more time. Practice just scoop it up. And then rotating. Other person. So also right now, if you're the down person, start to figure out how your neck is doing, how your back is doing with this first level of getting squished up. All right, 1 minute. Second person, let's go. I've been eating some cookies. I'm probably heavy. He's getting a workout now. Yep, keep going. Make him sit right on your legs. Lots of repetitions. Don't stop. Keep going. All right, one more time. All right, so we're pulling the person up onto our legs, right? And I have their back. I kind of at an angle, so it's already getting easy to lift their seat off the ground. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab onto their collar, and I'm going to walk my hands up it like a rope. Okay, so I'll have them here. One hand is going to continue to hold the legs while I grab the collar, and then I'm going to walk up the collar. What I want to do is grab the collar for the hand that's going to cross. So if you just sit up tall for me, sir. So if I'm going to finish with my right hand, I'm going to be turned towards them. If my right hand's going to finish, I'm going to be grabbing for this collar here. That way it's going to cross the body to grip. If I'm going to grab this collar, I'm finishing with my left hand, holding onto the collar. So it's a cross collar grip, which means when I finish, I want the cross hand holding onto the collar. I won't finish with same side. See how this is straight across? I'm going to be finishing with one of them doing a cross grip on the collar. Okay? So let me show you how this drill works, and then we'll start the timer and we'll get moving. So he gets down, ready, we break the guard, I come in, I scoop, now I find the collar. So I lift it up and I walk my hands. When my hand, I'll let your legs relax, sir. My hand is up on his shoulder, that's where I want to be. So it's across the body on the collar, okay? So I'm gonna show you again. So we're here, I've got the guard broken, slide him up, walk the hand up to the shoulder. Now I put my hand on the floor and I go to a push-up position. And I just kind of let his legs come off. We're not stacking, we're not rounding. And partners, you're not resisting, you're not fighting in any way, okay? So it'll be slide the person up on you, grab the cross collar, you can walk up or make a big jump if it's available. Put your hand on the floor and try and get up on your hand. So it'll be like this. In a push-up position, let them take their legs off so they get used to removing their legs, and repeat. All right, let's go. 1 minute, hop in, let's get started. Taking your legs off. Watch your arm that's on the floor for the push-up. Make sure that the person doesn't kick you in the elbow, right? So I don't want to put it here like this. I'm going to put it over here a little bit. So I start to turn my body for right now. We'll use our hammer a little bit different as the end result, but for now, just practicing. Stay nice and safe. Watch your elbows. I want you to practice getting up on your feet like a push-up. I don't want you to finish on your knees. So practice getting up into that push-up position. So you're up on your feet and you're not on your knees. All right, one more time, last one. All right, ready to switch it up? Next person. So scoop them up, walk up the collar, and then push up position. You have to make sure you're starting to watch your hand that's on the floor so they don't pop their legs down onto your arm. Keep it going. One more time. So we're stacking both arms underneath, we're pulling them into us, we're grabbing the collar, and we're learning to walk around the corner, okay? The reason we're putting our hands in a push-up position right now is so that we can support some of our own weight instead of driving all of our weight into our partner's neck, because we're gonna do it 100 times, right? So make sure you're keeping your weight in your hands. Next, we're keeping our feet on the floor like a push-up so we get used to not having our knees on the floor. If our knees are on the floor during the finished result, we're not going to be heavy enough or strong enough to really create a stacking problem and have our partner want us to pass, right? Long term, when we do this right, we're squishing our partner in a little ball and they want us to pass to get out of the position, right? Okay, so if you want, we'll take it to the next step. So I get my double unders. I get a hold of the collar. My arm is way up high in the collar. I put my hand down. I get up in the push-up position, and I'm going to start to rotate myself. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to rotate angle. So not like this, not perpendicular to it. I'm going to keep rotating until I'm almost facing the opposite direction. I don't have to go that far, but I want to face back towards the corner, right? So I started out facing this way. and then I'm not gonna stop it sideways. I'm gonna go till I get to the opposite corner. I'm just gonna walk my feet around. My partner's gonna start to get a little bit of discomfort. We haven't fully learned to stack yet, okay? He's gonna probably kick his legs off. At this point, he could probably resist and do a little bit, but for his safety, he's just gonna kick him off when I round the corner. So I stack, I go here, have my hand on the floor, and I start to walk around, and I push up position. And then I just go down, I face an angle, and I come back. All right, let's get started. So you got a minute of just stacking, rotating to the corners. You're going about 135 degrees. Just practicing turning that hip. You don't want to stop at perpendicular. If you do, we're going to be showing you one of the things to do to those people at the end of today's lesson. So just keep turning until I get to the corner. Remember, try both sides out. Gotta be ambi-turner, right? Just be able to go both directions. One more time. Practicing getting to that corner. All right, let's rotate. Next person. Get it started. Got 1 minute. Grab uniform, plant the hand, walk. Partner should want to lower their legs. Yep, keep going. Good time, one more, get one more in. All right, so we have got the double under grip, and then we go to get the collar, and then we get up in our stance. Then we turn the corner, right? What are we missing? What are we missing? Anyone know? We got to stack, we got to squash the person, we got to flatten them. So we're going to be putting pressure on their neck. It's like pulling your own head down, right? We're going to be pushing down on their neck so that it hurts. Okay? Partner's on the bottom. If it hurts and you can't take it, it hurts your back, hurts your neck, just tap. We'll let go of you, right? This is a partner drill. So if our partner's tapping, try to let go, try to get off as quick as you can. Maybe they're not as flexible yet. Maybe they're claustrophobic. Maybe they're bad back, right? Help them out. If you can kind of get comfortable in this position, that would be a good stretch. It'd be good to get comfortable here. Not that you want to purposely get here. This is the place you're going to end up. Okay, so try to get comfortable, but if you're not happy in position, tap. That's the goal of tapping, is to give yourself an easy out. Okay, so watch the steps. Watch, we're going to do a little bit different. I'm going to stack him here. I'm going to get my hand up. I'm going to put my hand on the floor still because we're friends. Then I'm going to take my left shoulder, I'm going to touch his face, and I'm going to turn. So I'm going to try to think of taking my left shoulder, because my left hand is holding, and I'm going to drive it towards his head, which brings his knee towards his head and stacks him quite a bit more, yes? Yes, sir. Less comfortable, okay? When I start to turn the corner, he might be a little trapped up, so all I want to do is kind of like bump. I try to bump his leg off of me and let it out. So I'll show you one more time. Let's change the angle a little bit. So I get under with the stack here, right? I get the collar, and now I'm over him. So I bring my left shoulder to his face. If his leg's stuck, I kind of bump my shoulder. And then I rotate to this corner. I'm going to rotate this way, so I'm going to rotate past. So I'm not going to land perpendicular, I'm going to land a little past, and then make my way back to perpendicular. We're going to keep rotating at this point to make it a little bit easier to see each time we do it. Do it with us. If you need to stop and watch, you can easily see. You got 1 minute. All right, let's go. Add the next step, 1 minute. Stack them. Push your shoulder into their nose. Left leg. That grip. So I'm quite joking. When I go past, it gives me that option to hit that north and south position if I have to. Really stops that knee from coming into play from his behalf. We'll rotate this way now. All right, let's go one more time. One more. All right, switch jobs. Put him in a nice loose guard. Legs broken, other person. Try to touch. If the left hand grabs the collar, the left shoulder comes towards the face, and vice versa with the right hand on the collar. All right, 1 minute. Again. Oh, man. Correct. Choke away. Let's go. One more time. Get him. Squash him. So we have squash him, turn the corner. Now let's start to think about something. Okay? Do I want their arm to start to create problems for me? Do I want it to go on my hip and create space? Do I want it to slip it in and try to create a little bit of a frame? No. So when I turn the corner, the leg that's closest to them is going to go super flat on the floor. I'm going to try and get that hip down real low. Okay? So if we go here, sir, if we can go, let me guard in this direction. So if you watch, I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. So I go here, I grab his collar, I start to rotate, and then I have this space, and he starts to put his frame in, he starts to turn back towards me, and then he starts to fight to retain his guard, right? My hip's not down. So this arm creates a frame, his next arm comes in for a frame, and he starts to mess with me. I don't want to pass to give him back his guard. So if you watch how this works, I'm going to stack, slide, scoop. I bring my shoulder to his nose like this. And then when I turn the corner, see this hip here? This hip's low. So if he tries to put something between me and him, there's nothing. I can scoop the head, right? And then I can bring myself up into a side control position. So this is something I want you to think about. Your leg that's closest to the person now is going to get your hip right up against them. As we turn, we go past side control. We get our hip up, controlling that armpit. We wrap the head, and then we come back to your standard 90-degree side control. Okay? So do your stack pass. Okay, double stack pass. You're doing two unders. rotate to the 135, right, going past the point, lower that hip into them, and then get the head, and then come back to side control. Partners, as we're coming around, start to put your little frame in there. Let us know if we're creating too much space. Help us realize if there's too much space. If it's good, just let us know that it's good. Okay, does that make sense? How that work? Get your hip into their armpit. Don't give them space. If you're creating too much space, start to look at stacking them a little bit higher. Get their butt directly over their head. Okay, all right, let's get started. And I'll add some fine points on how to really squash the person by grabbing their belt in a little bit. All right, let's keep going. 1 minute. Begin. Scoop. I just get right over the top of him. He starts to put his arm in there, and I just start to get nice and low. Right? And then I start to work on a side control position. And he lets me know if I have too much space, right? If I make a mistake this time, he'll show you how it works. So I come here, I do the same thing, but I have all this space because I'm locking both arms. Instead, he's starting to get his arms in there and create frames. Yeah, this is annoying. Right? He's starting to get between me and him. That's my space. Right? I don't want it there. So I get right up on top of him. And I turn this corner and I get low. I don't let anything get in there and work. Yeah. Start to look for submissions maybe right away when I hit that ground. Don't let them have it. Don't let them have that space. One more time. We'll switch partners. Look at that. Too much space. Got his frames in. Put his frames right between me and him. All right. Rotate. Our partners are not being jerks about it. We're helping them understand that if they're not closing that gap up, that they want to fix it. We're helping them. We're not making it hard for them. All right. Other person. 1 minute. Let's go. Stack. Grab. Get that head. Yeah. Then create that space. Remember, try and get that head when they don't have space with their arm. Keep it going. Just walk that knee. Keep walking. Just drive for the hip. Oh man. Yeah, when I'm flat on my back, your hip's stronger than my arms. Last one more time. Just keep going, Arkansas. There you go. Nice, and relax. Okay, so we got the gist of it. Do you feel like from the bottom, you could kind of drive your butt to the floor, drive your legs down, right, kind of beat that stack? Doing this to people who are pretty good, or doing this to people who are pretty aggressive, I use this next method. Most people, I start this stacking process, and just the squishing of their neck is enough for them really not to fight back and just kind of let me pass. But I'm going to show this to you when you have an aggressive partner, someone who knows what they're doing. But essentially, I'm going to reach behind and grab onto the belt. When I grab onto the belt, it helps me like pull the person's legs right over their head. Okay? So if you watch how this works, we're going to go a little bit of angle so they can see your belt. I get a double underguard pass, stack, right? I go here, I grab his uniform, and I reach back here, and I just grab his belt. So I have his belt. Now when I come here, I can hold his belt up. So if he tries to kick his legs out, I'm holding his belt. And then I can start to lower myself into that armpit, control, right? Work on getting the head, and then bringing myself back to a control position. So be careful. I've also seen many times when you watch some replays competitions, someone pantsing someone, right? They just yank on the back of their pants. So be very careful. Don't be inappropriate. Don't be grabbing on the edge of those pants and pulling those pants down. But if you've got a martial arts belt on, remember we're in our jiu-jitsu uniform, grab onto that belt and pull. You can help pull that person right up onto their neck, okay? Again, on the bottom, if it's too much pressure, tap out. And if you're going with someone using a martial arts belt on, you just put your hand on their back and help just kind of pull their back over for now. But don't, like I already warned you, don't grab onto someone's pants if they have an elastic waist because they're gone. They're up and over. Okay, so practice, we'll only go 30 seconds, so we don't really need to crush each other's necks, but I want you to practice kind of pulling so your partner can give you feedback on if it sucks, right? If it sucks, it means it hurts. And that's kind of what we want to have the ability to do. So I get here. Yeah, worse? Yes. I just clear, right? And then I just keep working. I'm trying to control that arm. I want to make sure that I can start to have more fun if that arm is in my armpit, right? Okay. We'll go one more time, go the opposite direction. Step out, squish. Ride that arm. Feel I just use my hips. Just ride that arm down. Your body, your hips are going to be much stronger than their arm when you put that weight the right way. All right, one more time. Let's go the other switch. So this person will go a couple times, 30 seconds. Grab their belt, torture them. So when I pull the belt, I try and imagine like pulling the belt to their forehead. It forces them into a total squish position. You can see how it just makes it so much easier to move. All right, so if you see you grabbing on that belt, man, that's so much easier putting your hand on the floor. The problem is you start putting a lot more weight on your partner, right? So I like to put my hand on the floor just because it's nice. Most of my training partners are pretty relaxed. We're not trying to kill each other. We're trying to make sure we can roll for hour and a half without dying. So not a lot of aggressiveness, but if you're in there, you're in a tournament, you're in a situation where you got to get this past, grab that belt, pull them over onto their head, and just squash them. Okay, as promised, I want to show you a couple things that can go wrong. Then reasons for you, obviously, to try and look at fixing the problems too. So, number one, when my partner starts to grab my legs, I'll turn this way so you guys can see. If I'm here and I feel my partner dropping, I take my feet, excuse me, sir, and I put my feet farther apart, and I try to get my heels down. So I drive my legs to the floor. So as he starts to shoot, I go here, and I lift my hips up. If my butt's on the floor and he lifts my legs, they're not that hard to lift. If I push my heels and arch, right? So I'm crunching up, lifting my butt, then my legs are harder to lift, yes? Lifting more of my weight. But if I'm just hinging at the hips, if my butt's on the floor and he lifts, he just moves my legs. He just keeps squishing them up. So when he shoots this double underneath, I just kick my heels down, right? And I just start to try to create space. So what's going to happen is as soon as the person starts to shoot underneath, get your heels on the floor, lock your legs, spread them apart, and get their legs down, right? Okay, so we'll do this just about 30 seconds. It'll take long to realize how this works. Person's gonna shoot, drop your heels to the floor, lift your butt, get your heels as heavy as you can so they can't lift your legs. Okay, so let's go. I'll let him start first this time. 30 seconds, then we rotate. All right, ready? Go. Oh. Trying to shoot, drop those heels. Come on, let's go. I want to see those live people go, and I'm watching the live people. Drive those heels to the floor. Let's go. Don't let them wrap their hands. Drive your heels. Lock your legs. Oh, man. Oh. I almost got it. All right, time. Rotate. Trying to trick them. All right, they scoop underneath, drive those heels down. Let's go, switch other person. Yeah, sometimes I just shoulder walk too. If he keeps trying to fight forward, just shoulder walk. Once I get my butt off the floor with arching my weight into my shoulders, it makes it hard. Oh, yeah. So if I know this is coming, right, then I can just make his job not as much fun. All right, last attempt. Oh! Oh! Yeah, all right, so one, don't let him get on your legs, lift him up. That would be the number one goal, right? Okay? So another thing we can start to look at, if they get around your legs, we're going to try to push their hands off and slip our legs out, okay? So let's say Mr. Anderson grabs around my legs, right? Boom, I'm gonna start to push on his hands. So I'm gonna try to drive his arms up. You can go ahead, dude, sir. I'm driving up like this, because I don't want him underneath my legs here. That's where he starts to scoop my butt. So I try to get his arms up. Keep going, sir. Right? And then I can start to work on getting my legs back out. Okay, so we're going to try to keep their hands up and not let them drive down. So when they come down, they get their hands clasped. It's too late to put my heels down. So I start to just lift up on his arms. Keeps going. Yeah. And I just keep scooting my legs out. So we're going to push their arms up, straighten our legs out, and try and scoot our legs out of their arms, okay? And if we fail at this, I'll give you another one. Okay, let's get going. So he scoops. Blocked. Missed. Blocked. Missed. Straight. Keep on, man. Finish it. Finish it. All right, switch. So that one's kind of a fun one. We get used to doing that one. Makes it a little bit easier to stop those arms. All right, other person. Ready? Go. Not a challenge. Oh man. Keep it going. Oh, I got those hips. Nope, I lost them. I lost them. Refishing. Refishing. Oh, man. Locking the legs, get himself out. All right, good. So what happens, you're one of those daydreamers, right? You totally forget to focus on the match, and your person gets the grips, and they start pulling you in, and they're going to round the corner, right? Now, obviously, we passed up a couple other options along the way, backpedaling out before the grips, and feeding the arm in and grabbing it, and starting set of submissions by pulling the arm. We skipped those. Those aren't very easy to teach all in 10 minutes, okay? This next one, not that hard of a concept. Okay, we're going to turn this way so they can see. So, he gets his arms hooked. He starts to cinch me in. And I go, oh man, I missed it. Pushing the arms up is going to be hard to do now. So I wait for an arm to grab my collar. As soon as one grabs, this arm grabs, I start to grab. So here's his elbow. I'm going to grab at his arm higher than his elbow. So this is called his tricep muscle. I'm going to grab here out of his uniform. I just make a big, don't pinch a person's skin. They won't want to be your partner. I grab right here in his uniform. Okay? And as he starts to come around the corner, he lifts up, I start punching. I straighten my arm because now I have a stiff arm. It's bone alignment, so when he comes back to his position, it's very hard. I break the grip, I get on my elbow, and I start to scoot myself out and kick. Don't kick your partners in jiu-jitsu. Karate people, kick them all day, okay? All right, so let me show you again. He gets it. I have both arms kind of ready to go. I'm on the elbows. As soon as this one grabs, I grab onto it. And as soon as he starts to turn, I punch. Right? Now I have my elbow straight. So if he tries to come back, I don't have to get out. But I want to get out. So I bring my elbow back. And I start to scoot. myself out of there. Kick him if you're in karate, don't if you're in jiu-jitsu. All right, got it? I'll let Mr. Anderson go since I just got to go. All right, so we're gonna go. I'll give you a little bit more time, a little bit tricky. Whichever arm is grabbing by your neck, grab onto the material just higher than the elbow. Right as we start to turn, that's an indicator we're going that way. Stiff arm, lock your arm out and punch us to the side. All right, let's go. So we get the stack, we squished him, I grab, now he knows which one it is. As soon as I get up, he starts punching. And it makes it hard to use that hand. Man, then he just scoots out. Figure out what game you're playing after that. Grappling or punching and kicking. And that makes it a lot harder to get what I'm trying to get. Oh, which way am I going? Didn't matter, did it? That stiff arm, not fun for me. All right, let's rotate jobs. Other person. So as soon as they start to stack, stiff arm their arm. Eyes are closed. Nice and relaxed. He's kind of daydreaming. He starts to grab. He starts to pass. And I go, oh, wait a minute. I got a stiff arm here. Yeah. I just welcome him back into the leg triangle guard if he wants. I just open it up and say, ready for business. Super stacked. I'm waiting. He's finishing. I still can break. I'm underneath him a little bit more now because I waited. See how he got that 135? But it's still hard as long as I hold this going to get into your side control. It's still hard for him to get side control, right? And I can still work if he gets his arm nice and strong. He yanks his elbow back, right? He's strong. I can still work on using that frame to give myself enough time to get back in a position of control, okay? So it's another option for trying to recover a guard or just stop this pass. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop for a second, just listen. One person, start with their feet on the floor. Other person will try to then shoot their hands, get the grip, get the collar, stack and pass, and get to a side control or a north and south position, okay? Which means you just keep going till your bodies line up for today's purposes, okay? The other person's job is to stop it. Drive your heels to the floor, whatever it might be. But one caveat, okay? If you drive your heels down and your partner just jumps over the center and gets them out, they still win, okay? So in case you just flatten your legs the second we go for it, if we push your legs down, hopping them out, we still win. Got it? Everyone knows what their job is? All right, so for 1 minute, you got one roll, your person's got the other. Start over as many times as you can. All right, let's get going. So watch as my partner sits on his back, he's got his knees bent, and I'm getting ready to fire. As soon as I go to fire, he can start blocking, he can start trying to push my arms, whatever he wants to do. Okay, ready? Tap hands, bump knuckles. 1 minute, let's go. Oh, man. Yeah, that's why I like going farther. I can go to north and south. That's a little bit outside of what we're doing today right there. It's kind of cheating. You did a great job of blocking the actual pass. Again, that one's outside of what we're doing today as well. We'll get on that one. Not today, though. Oh, man. He's got a pick. All right, switch. Yeah. These blocks are effective. We probably should have taught you how to do the pass before the blocks. All right, ready to switch it up? Other person, you got a minute to try and attack. Do your pass. Other person, you're trying to figure out defenses. All right, let's go. Oh, man. trying to fake one way and go the other way. Nice. All right. Backside pass, I like it. Excellent. Everyone, one more time, last one, let's go. Oh, you didn't see that one coming, did you? That's another option. All right, nice work. All right, so obviously there's more options. There's lots of things we can do with the hands open. If we feet inside that armpit, we set up our leg triangles, backward shoulder walks, whatever. Just some options, something for you to think about. Right, it's a double underguard pass. If your partner showed up to class and paid attention, they probably don't know the blocks. If they don't know how to block it, that's great. Anytime they block it, they give you something. Right, that's a whole nother lesson. If our partner's doing these things, they give us something in the attempt. There's nothing you can do that someone doesn't have an answer for, right? Besides point you pass out, okay? Practice under control, listen for taps, and be nice. They're partners, not opponents. All right, let's come to a 10 position. Let's get a good bow. So we have our back straight, sign of respect. Excellent bow, high fives, high fives, high fives.